done any sort of live streaming. I just want to make sure that it's all good. Yeah, okay. So it's Hector here. It's been a long time since I've done any sort of live streaming on this channel. I usually just talk about personal life, sometimes politics, sometimes work stuff, which is also personal. And like I said, it's been a long time since I've made any sort of vlog. I actually quit one job, went to work at another job. I want to talk about that job because I just got off work. That's why I'm still in uniform. That's probably why I'm looking all greasy and all sweaty. It's 1 in the morning. I work in Stockton, California, one of the worst cities in the United States of America. And I don't actually live in Stockton. I live in the next town over, and I try to get a job in my town, but they're like, oh, probably wouldn't get any hours, so you can try and go on one of the other Panda Expresses because there's 3 in Stockton. So I was like, all right, I'll go to this one. I've been there since April, end of April, close to May of 2022. It's now October 2023. I'm usually closing. We usually close at 9:30. We're out by 10:30, maybe 11. Now we're closing at 10:30. Now we're out by 11:30 or midnight. We've seen some stuff. There's always homeless people all around. Sometimes people start knocking on the window. Hey, can we come in and use the bathroom? Can I get a drink or whatever? We're like, no, man, you can't come in. Well, the gas station across the little parking lot, I guess, the boss didn't tell them that or whatever, because they let somebody in. Well, they tried to open the door, and they pushed their way in, and they robbed the place. That's a pretty common occurrence in Stockton, actually. So it was armed robbery. We were calling 911, and we're like, hey, man, there's an armed robbery. And of course my coworker's like, oh my god, there's a gun, there's a gun. And I'm like, all right, calm down, get the information, know what's what. I'm calling them, and it seems like I'm the only person in any of my jobs that can like think under pressure. But so yeah, I called that time, but that armed robber, I guess, was kind of smart. He put tape all over his license plate. He was wearing a full mask and everything. We couldn't see anything of him. All we had was the car. And then we're in this parking area, or this, there's a Rayleigh's and gas station, Panda Express, Starbucks, a Subway. So it's just a little strip mall sort of thing, and there's only one way in and out, so we don't know which way he took off. He had to go out of that parking area, and then I don't know. And we're right next to a freeway, so we could have just jumped on the freeway and never would have saw him again. The police were pretty upset. They're like, don't you have any other information? Didn't you see his face? Didn't you see the license plate? Wasn't there a light? Isn't there a camera out here? Like, nah, man, we don't even own the Panda Express. We're just regular workers. But so that was a few months ago, and tonight, somebody set their car on fire in the gas station. I'm just in the back, and then my coworkers are like, "Oh my god, the gas station's on fire! There's a car on fire!" And I'm like, "What?" And so I go out there, and one of my coworkers thinks, he's gonna save the day, I guess, and he's like, "I'm gonna use the fire extinguisher and go out there and try and extinguish the car." And I'm like, "What? Why? F that, stay in here, more or less." But he just took off. So I had to go out there after him, and I even said, make sure you shut off that gas pump thingy, because every gas station has a little pump shut off, and he was right next to the pump. There's flames everywhere. I said, make sure you shut off the gas pump so the whole thing doesn't go in flames. He didn't hear me or didn't know, I guess, so I had to go follow him out there, shut off the gas pump. He tried to get the guy to save him, and he was saying, my coworker was saying he thinks the guy was suicidal, and he's pretty sure he's the one who lit the car on fire. I saw the car, all up in flames by the time I got out there, so I don't know how it got caught on fire. There wasn't like a hose leaking gas, spraying gas that was on fire or anything. It was just the car. So he tried to do something. Of course, he didn't get the car out. It's the car fire. I was like, all right, let's just go back in. We're calling the cops. I got it. And then, of course, somebody else. Oh, I'm going to call him too. No, you're not. I told him, do not call the cops. I got it. But whatever. So I'm all talking with them. And when you call 911, it's usually just a whole system, I guess, a whole operating system. It's not right there in Stockton or in a certain area. They're just like, we'll connect you to those people. And so I'm like, all right, I'm here at Stockton, Marauder Lane specifically, because like I said, there's 3 Panda Expresses in Stockton. And when they transfer you, you can hear both of them, and I couldn't even really hear much because I'm out there trying to tell my friend get the fuck away from the fire, you know. And so they're starting to ask all these questions. Where are you and everything? I'm like, I told you I'm at Panda Express in Murata. And they're like, don't you know the address? And I'm like, fuck. So I go up to the front. I'm already outside. I see the front, and then I see the numbers. I'm like, yeah, it's this Murata in Stockton. I'm like, I think the guy's suicidal. Who's suicidal? The guy who started the car fire. And then he keeps asking me questions, and I'm trying to tell my friend, get back. Let's go inside. And the lady's like, all right, you're not answering my questions. I'm going to end the call. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, fine, fuck you, bitch. And I just hung up on her because I was going to take that shit. And, well, she probably hung up on me first. I don't even know. So, and then, of course, they said that they asked for my phone number twice. I gave them my phone number twice, or 3 times, it seems like, because I don't think they heard me one time. They didn't call me back. They tried to call me back during the armed robbery, but you know I was still working and I had my phone on vibrate or whatever. But they ended up coming in and talking to us, and that's when they're all upset during the armed robbery. But tonight during the fire, they didn't even come in and talk to us. They didn't call me back on my phone. I was like, whatever, fuck them. And you know, my coworkers were like, so what are we gonna do? One of my coworkers was freezing out. We gotta get out of here. This whole gas station's gonna go up. I was like, no, it's not. I shut off the gas pump. It's cool. It's fine. The police are on their way. The fire people are on the way. It might take them half an hour because that's usually what it takes in Stockton. Well, it took the police about half an hour to get there, but of course the fire engine got there way before. Probably took them about 5 minutes to get there. So firefighters, super cool. And the paramedics came. Oh yeah, and then when the firefighters were coming, the guy who lit the car on fire, he was all burned up, and you can see he was all fucking blistered and skin was all fucked up. And he goes, "Can I come in and sit down?" And we're like, "No, you can't. You have to stay out there. We're not letting anybody in here." Especially since my coworker said you lit the car on fire. I didn't say that. I didn't say especially since the coworker said you lit the car on fire. But I'm like, nah, you're gonna stay out there. The cops are on their way. And then my coworker's like, yeah, he ain't coming in here. We don't know what the hell he's gonna do. And so we just waited. Firemen and the police department didn't come. We saw them walking by, and so we're like, hey, I opened the door. I was like, good evening. I don't even remember if I said I was the one who called 911. But they're just like, hey, did you see, or do you have cameras, you know, pointing at there? And that's what they usually ask. We're like, no, we don't have any cameras at our restaurant pointing over there. Maybe the gas station does. But the gas station wasn't open because of armed robberies all the damn time. So the firefighters were actually trying to break into the gas station, I guess, to try and get the video footage or whatever. I showed them a little clip on my phone that I took, and they're like, "Oh, well, we wanted or we were hoping for a video before the car was on fire." So I guess they were trying to do like forensic analysis, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, we just waited till we finished everything, and the fire was put out. It still smelled super bad, of course. I'm not sure what happened to the guy. I guess the paramedics got him. Then we just took off and went home. And of course, my coworkers were all freaking out and shaking and everything. And he was like, I just want to go save him. I was trying to save his life. And, I just saw him in his eyes. It seemed like he was suicidal. And I was trying to get him out of the car. This is what my coworker was saying. I was trying to get him out of the car and trying to get him to safety. And then I had my fire extinguisher trying to get it out, but I couldn't get it out. And I told him, I was like, that's not your responsibility, man. You're not supposed to be going out there trying to save people's lives and trying to stop a car fire at a gas station when we're trying to close a cooking area, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a totally different thing, Leave that to the authorities. But he was like, nah, man, I just had to do something. And I was like, all right, whatever. Well, I was trying to save him. I wasn't trying to save the guy because I didn't even see the guy, really. But it was another crazy night, and I got school in the morning. And it's in a different county because in this county there's no public schools for higher education. There you can only get your associate's degree at a community college, or you can go to a private college and pay way, way, way more than these degrees are worth. So I have to go to a different county for college, which means I usually have to wake up about 2 hours before the class even starts to get there on time. But also, before I end the live stream, talking about Panda Express, it's, because I've talked about my other jobs, this job's pretty cool. It's a pretty nice thing. Of course, there are some downsides, like always. Biggest downside, they say, hey, you cannot ask for holidays off, but also you will not get paid extra for working on the holiday. And I'm like, what? I'm like, do we get a bonus? And they're like, well, it depends on this. F you, dude. And then they try to cut the staff. I'm like, no, no, no. You cannot cut the staff and then tell us to leave on time. That's not how it works. And other people were just getting stressed out, and there's health and safety issues going on because they're like saying, if you're in the back of the house, not only do you have to wash all of the dishes, you have to make all the rice from scratch and make the fried rice and the chow mein and the teriyaki chicken. So while you're making all that rice and chow mein and teriyaki chicken, nobody's doing the dishes. And they want us to reuse those dishes, but the rules say you're supposed to use a new dish every single time you make some food. So yeah, we were telling the managers, nah, this isn't going to fly. We need 2 people back there to make sure everything's cool, and also to make sure the food's good, because some of these people are, oh, let me just throw it down. All right, here's the food. And it tastes like shit. And I even tell them, taste that. If it tastes good, you can serve it. Because if it doesn't taste good, if you will not eat it, do not make people pay for it. That's pretty much the basis of any cooking job. So I'm the main cook there over the weekends, but over the weekdays, it's some old guy. And I think I've got most of the recipes down. It's a pretty cool place, as I said, but I have burned myself a number of times, more times than I can count. I burned my thumb really bad last week, but it's pretty good now. I've just been trying to keep the place very hygienic and food top quality. And I really feel, since I've been working there, that more and more people have been coming around, so I'm sure they've noticed some of those changes. And heck, we're staying open an hour later, so yeah, I think maybe they've noticed some of my changes. But I think that's all I got to say for this Panda Express live stream. I want to do another live stream right after, really quickly, talking about my last job, because I have not made any videos, any live streams talking about that. And I got a lot to say from when I quit Walmart. So, if anybody's watching, you can stick around. I know Alan's there. Well, I don't know if he's still there. Hey, Alan. I'm going to switch over live streams. So I'll see y'all later.